Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Blaine Edwards, and today we are joined by Mateja, CEO of Artano, a community-driven NFT marketplace being built on Cardano. So, Mateja, brother, cheers for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Alrighty, so to start us off, as we normally do, can you please do a brief introduction about who you are and also how you got into this beautiful world of cryptocurrency?
Sure. So I am a Serbian-born self-developer, crypto enthusiast, living in Germany right now. And yeah, I got into Cardano late 2020, maybe like second half of 2020. I started painting and I wanted to sell NFTs on Ethereum, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. It's wrecking the planet. It's too expensive. And then like I don't know how. I really cannot like even answer this because I don't know how we went to the Artano conversation, and like I started talking to people, met some Project Catalyst people, and we just like started building this amazing marketplace, and now we have like 30 people working on it. So it's
30
pretty
people.
awesome. Yeah, like I mean 10 core team people and 20 artists we're working with.
You're right. Okay. So you were kind of in the creative space before this as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I've done some music before, and I started amateur painting, but nothing like close to professional painters and stuff like that. It's just like fun things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a bit of a creative. So you said you're painting. I think I heard in another video that you did that you're also a bit of a muso, classically
Yeah.
trained.
Yes, yeah, guitarist and piano player and composer. Yeah, I have my stuff on YouTube somewhere. If people dig that out, I'm gonna be. Yeah, it was like 17 when I composed last time, I think. So.
Well, if you want to share the links, we can include the links
No.
at the bottom somewhere.
Find it. Yeah, find
it. No peer pressure if you want to. Okay, so you're obviously got this creative background, and what was, I guess, okay. Before we get into the inspiration of Artano, what is Artano first, and then we can break that down.
Okay, sure. Artano is a community-driven NFT marketplace on Cardano. We have a different approach to NFTs, I guess. We want to have like a community-driven, curated, like artist-curated platform. So basically, if you're a trusted user on the platform, if you have been there for a while, you've earned some tokens by selling and buying art. You have the right to decide what's on the platform, what's not. And we've seen a lot of these NFT marketplaces. They're full of like low quality cash grabbing projects, like with thousands and thousands of pieces. And we want just like, kind of, yeah, we prefer quality over quantity, I guess. So yeah, some people in the NFTs, like Cardano space are like, no, that's not really, the thing we want to do. And some artists really love that because they're like, okay, we're putting quality first. So yeah, I mean, we're taking that approach. It's a bit different from other places, I think, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, for now, it's doing well. We had an auction, and it went pretty well.
Before we get into the features and the auctions, I'd love to know the inspiration behind this. So, like, what inspired you to create a project like Artano?
Sure. So I was talking to some folks from the community, and we were trying to figure out, what is missing in the NFT space. And one thing for sure was inclusivity and diversity. So for example, there's little women in the space in general. And one of our co-founders, Maria, she's a woman. So we talked, and she was like, okay, like let's make this council, for example, of artists, which is 20 people, 10 women and 10 UGMs and 10 men. So so we tried to really push this idea of inclusivity in geographical sense, in ethnic sense, racial, like so every single kind of diversity we can get, so that we can bring the whole world into the NFT space, not just US, or Anglo-Saxon, whatever driven NFT marketplaces that are out there right now, right? It's only EU and US, Australia, and Canada. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we want to kind of expand the network. Yeah.
Okay, so inclusivity was a big thing for you. Why was that something that you felt is important? Like, obviously, I kind of believe in diversity as a whole. I think it's very beneficial in so many different ways. But from your angle, was it like, why did you think that was important? Did you just feel like it was the right thing to do to be more inclusive, or is there actual benefit in terms of like in terms of being like a community powered platform? Like it's actually beneficial to have multiple viewpoints deciding on
Exactly.
the direction of a
Exactly.
platform. Like it's
Yeah.
actually beneficial. Like
Yeah.
maybe talk through that
Yeah.
process
I
of
think there's,
yeah.
sorry, there's like a few, I think, things to that, right? Like if I'm not an artist professionally, right? I've done some art in the past. I went to school for that. Music, yeah, sure, but visual arts, I have no idea what's good, what's bad. So we invited these artists from different backgrounds, like different countries. We have people from the Philippines, we have people from indigenous communities, and just giving them this network of opportunity to get into the blockchain space is just like, I think, amazing, because we're building a global community. And this global community is going to decide, who comes to the platform, who doesn't. I mean, it's up to them to decide. It's not the core team. So we really want to hand over this power to our users, our future users. And also, like, I come from Serbia, which is not technically it is a third world country. Yeah, I know artists there, and I know one NFT can pay bills for a month, like how much it's sold on, for example, on the Cardano blockchain. And just giving opportunities like this to people who are from these kind of countries where you've owned 500 euros dollars is really a lot of money. I think it gives like a powerful, like it gives just power, it empowers these communities and artists. Yeah.
So you mentioned that the approach that you're taking as an NFT marketplace is slightly different in the sense that the NFTs that are on the marketplace are, it's not like anyone can just submit something. There's like a curation process involved with that. Yeah. Can you speak to maybe the rationale behind that? Because obviously that is one way to do it. You have other marketplaces where it's kind of just free for all. You can kind of submit whatever you want. And I think both have their pros and cons, to be honest. And I think there's a use case for both of them. But maybe elaborate a bit more on the rationale for taking a more curated approach to the marketplace.
Sure. I mean, if you go to any marketplace right now, either on Cardano or like other blockchains, you can just get lost in a bunch of stuff, right? And it's just like, I mean, when I scroll through some of these, it's just like the same image over and over again with like a slight difference. So we want to kind of avoid that, right? We want to have more, like, we want to support artists who are really there for the art and not for the money grab sort of thing, right? So the ones who are going to put weeks, months into the work and just sell it for a higher price maybe than you would for like 10,000 pieces from Mateja or something. So yeah, our approach is a bit different in that sense. Also, like the curation process, it starts with the KYC. Like that's also something new, I guess, in the space. People are a bit resistant to like giving their government IDs and stuff to a company, but we have an Estonian company that's working on this. I think other marketplaces are implementing it now as well to be EU compliant. So, you have first the KYC, you have to submit some documents, then you submit your portfolio to the council. Later, not just the council will review these, it's everyone, like curators will expand not just to 20 people in the council. And also people can choose the council with the governance token. So we have a whole ecosystem around this governance token where users will decide eventually, like in a year or two, the whole platform. It's like, we have decentralization paths sort of.
Yeah. So this curation process, like I can, as my background's in architecture and I like to think that I'm fairly creative. I like I love music. I love drawing things, and just the idea of creative problem solving is something that I enjoy giving a go. So I can like appreciate that curated approach, but considering there is some sort of curation process at the moment, what is informing that curation process? So who is making those decisions about what can be on there, and what is the methodology around that?
Sure, we have certain criteria. So I think maybe also it sounds like we are very restrictive, like we want just high-end art. I think it's more like we don't want spam, we don't want memes, we don't want fast cash grabbing projects, as I've said so many times. Like copyrighted stuff. Like if we see, like for example, if you send me your Twitter account and I see you're doing a series of like red squares, I'm going to be like, okay, what is he doing? Or like it's the first time you've ever done something. Or like if you have a history, right, as an artist, yeah, sure. If you maybe went to university or like it's not like restrictive based on what it looks like. It's just based on like the experience and the whole profile. So, and this is not something I decide. Like this is just the council itself. Like they're different. But that's why we chose this like council from all over the world, because they have different experiences. You know, some people are CGI artists in Hollywood. Like we have people in France. We have people in India, Philippines. Like also people who are not artists. They're just curators or very involved in the Cardano community. So like different perspectives, and they're the ones who decide. So it's not really us. Right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I cannot tell you what they're going to choose on the platform, right?
Yeah. Okay. So can you maybe describe a bit more about the council? So who was part of that council, and how do you become a member of that council?
Mm-hmm. So the council has 20 members. Currently, we have 18 confirmed members, and we have 2 more that we are looking into. And one of them is actually pretty well known in the Cardano community. And another one is well known worldwide. We're trying to get him on. So our criteria was, first of all, gender balance, then diversity in terms of geographical, like where they are. Basically, we don't want to have more like 5 people from the same country, even though we had so many applications for your approval. Like we need Africa, Asia, and South America. We don't have anybody from Australia though.
Yeah, you need to add some Oceania in there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Waving the flag for like the Polynesians and the Australians in there as well.
Yeah. We had one artist who was brought onto the platform, Amana. She was participating in the first auction. She's from Australia. She's a Colombian Australian, I think, or Venezuelan. Sorry, I don't know. But yeah, she's now based in Australia. But yeah. So this kind of, I don't know what the question was. Sorry.
So the council. So talking about the council, how and what does that look like at the moment, and how do people get into the council?
Mm-hmm. So we opened the applications in May, and then we closed them around May 5th. I think it was like a week period. We received a lot of applications from Europe, and we had to reject a lot of great talent, like really amazing, talented people, because we didn't want to have 10 people from France and 10 people from the US. And great, I mean that's not diverse, right? So we tried reaching out to people. Now for the rest of the council, the 2 people, we're actually reaching out ourselves because we closed the applications. But in the future, so the council rotates every 6 months, and anybody can apply for the next one. So this is pretty centralized at the beginning, right? We're choosing the features, we're choosing the council, but later the council will choose features with the community, and the community will choose the council. So using the Ardo token, right? So yeah, you can apply. I mean, if you want next time.
So when there's the next round, when you're taking applications, does the old council kind of, are you replacing the old council, or does it like build up?
We replaced them. That's a good idea. I mean, we didn't talk about like building up, but I think it's hard to manage more than 20 people. So 20 was like our ideal number. And we kind of know them personally. Like we talk to them once a week. We have these meetings. So it's 6 months after the MVP is released. Mm-hmm. So once they start actually working, like curating works, because for now it's been like, okay, let's do an auction, let's do a collection, let's reach out to the community. How do we do this? Like we talked about features, but like MVP features. So mm-hmm. Once we release the marketplace, you can buy and sell. That's when the clock starts ticking for the next 6 months mm-hmm. for the council. Yeah. And we'll open applications. You can just, submit your portfolio, and then the community decides basically.
Okay, so is there a rough date of when the next round of applications will be?
I would say some mid 2022 probably.
Mid 2022. Okay, and
as a general Q2, Q1 to Q2.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
and obviously follow you guys on social media and keep up to date. But
exactly.
If we're just kind of fast forwarding into the future, going in this time machine, when we get to that point and we apply. Will the council decide the new council, or would this be where the ADA governance token will come into play?
Yes, okay. Yeah. So basically, if you're longer on the platform, right? Like if at the beginning it's going to be easy to earn the token, and it's going to be harder and harder over time, right? Because there's less tokens, and we're going to have some algorithms behind the scenes that are going to pull it, right? Like so we don't lose all the tokens in like the first few months. So like first auction you earn twice as much ADA as you spend. So the artist and the collector, they got twice as much ADA as they earned or spent, right? So for the next collection, it's going to be 1-to-1. So 1 ADA is 1 ADA, and then we're going to decrease it over time. So the earlier you are on the platform, the more ADA you will have and the more power in the governance, right? Because you've been there for longer. in the
Okay,
long
so
run.
can you break that down a bit further? So
Sure.
you mentioned the auction. So you said, okay, so you've got the ADA token, which is a governance token.
Yep.
You've got the platform that is live at the moment. How can people get their hands on this token? What do they need to do to acquire this token?
Sure. So you can earn a token by, okay, this is soon to be public information. I think it's going to be probably when we release this video. So 55% of the token goes to the users. So you buy and sell art, that's how you earn it. Some of it is going to be earned by the pool, so by the staking pool. So we're going to just distribute that.
Okay.
Part of it is going to be going to the council, and 30% is going to go to the core team. So by buying and selling, you earn the token. So if you bought on the first auction, so for example, we bought for 100 ADA, you earned 200 ARTA, and the artist earned 200 ARTA. But that's only for the first auction. That's what I'm saying. Like over time,
it's going to be
harder.
1-to-1.
Yeah, and then it's going to be 1-to-1, and then it's going to be maybe 4.8.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. So one way to get the token is to participate in the auction as a seller or as a buyer. So
Exactly.
so the NFT in a way is kind of a bonus as well. Like even if you just want to get the tokens, you buy that NFT and you get the what's the ticker for your token? ARTA. ARTA.
Not public yet, though. I mean, it's not been. We're building the first distribution. It's going to be released in a few days. So you're gonna like if people who bid on the first auction also get it, like you get 50 ARTA. But that's only for the first time. So
yeah,
there'll be a claim form.
Yeah, and so the seller, so the buyer can, but through buying an NFT through the Artano auction, they can acquire the ARTA token that way. The seller of an NFT can also acquire the token that way when it gets sold. You mentioned staking as well. Can you break that down? So people, what does that look like?
So it's like, we have a pool, and basically we're going to go through your addresses, and proportionally to how much you've staked with us, you'll earn ARTA tokens. And we have like a discrete, like a number of tokens we reserved for this purpose. And it's most of the stuff is going to be in the next, it's going to circulate, right? Like you're going to spend the tokens, you're going to buy art with it, you can sell art to earn ARTA tokens. And we hope ARTA, we're going to peg it to 1 ADA at the beginning, and then, the market's going to do its thing, and it's going to, we won't sell it personally, right? It's going to be probably on some decentralized exchange. People are going to trade it for ADA. So the market basically will decide the price of the token. Mm-hmm. But you cannot buy it, right? So that's really important for us. So you really have to earn it.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So in terms of the platform, can we go into a detail about how people can use the platform? So we're talking about the auction. People can buy art that way, and people can sell art through NFTs on the platform as well. Mm-hmm. As a seller, like if I'm an artist and I've created this epic kind of NFT collection, how do I go about getting onto this marketplace? What do I need to do in order to, I guess, apply, or how do I get my art onto Artano NFT marketplace?
So even now you can subscribe to our newsletter, which is we're not sending any emails yet because we don't have any it's not working fully, the marketplace. So you can subscribe on artano.io first of all, and then after that we're going to send emails saying, okay, now the applications are open, you can send us your portfolio, your social media information, why you want to be on Artano, and then 3 council members will review these applications for the first 6 months. And then you can get in or not, right? And we don't really have like auctions, right? We have it's going to be an open, like any other marketplace. You're going to have like a list of NFTs. I mean, we have the design actually is complete for the first version. So you're going to have your own profile. And as a collector, it's much easier. You just complete the KYC, you're on the platform, you can buy and resell NFTs. But as an artist, you have to pass the council.
Yeah, and this is a separate app. So you have to go through an application to enter the council, but then there's also like a application process to even sell an NFT. So how frequent is that application? Like, is this something that gets reviewed every month or like every week? Or
So we review the profile. We don't review the art pieces, like because of the volume, right? So if we see somebody who's a good, high quality artist and they have done, they're maybe have some work, they don't have to be experts, right? Maybe they have 10 pieces and the council likes it. I mean, it's not me, again, who decides this. Me and the core team have nothing to do with this. The council decides, okay, this person is a great match for us. They get in, they can sell, they can buy NFTs. And also one thing I didn't mention is INFTs, which are NFTs that change over time. So even the first auction, we introduced this. Our NFTs change day and night, for example, or some have seasonal changes, like or every 4 months. We're going to have, our minter is going to be different than other minters, which is allowing people to have like multiple images, let's say, that transform over time with price, with time, with ownership. We just want to build this tool because it's a really cool and new thing, I think, in the NFT space.
Do you need smart contracts for that?
No.
How does that work?
So we have a rendering, we have a renderer on the platform. So if you go to our auction page right now, you can see like some pieces have a certain look. And then if you come back tomorrow or you set your clock on the machine, you can see that they change with like time. So like if you use an artist, you can come to the platform in the future and you can say, okay, at the price of 100 ADA, I want it to look like a box. And then if it's sold at 200 ADA, it can like hatch into an egg or something, and then at 300 ADA, it's this and that. So you can set these parameters and transform the NFT.
And this, you can set out these different parameters and variables in your NFT minter.
Yes. Not yet. Not yet.
But
yeah. So we do have a minter for normal NFTs. We're building this whole thing. And then in the future, we have working case for this, right? Like the auction is there. The NFTs are changing over time. Some of them, it's going to be a surprise for the owners, I think, because they don't know, like, some are going to change like indefinitely. Like once they're changed, they're going to stay like that forever. So we have some pieces that are like going to transform and stay like that forever, which is really interesting to me. Like,
how does that actually work though in terms of that change happening? Like
technology behind it?
Yeah, like what? Like is it the code behind that, which is kind of saying after X amount of weeks, change this video or this JPEG into this other JPEG or this other video or whatever. So there's like this. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So you have like IPFS, right? You store the images or the videos there, and then we have a program that's going to pull out the right image at the right time in the render.
Okay. So within that one NFT, there are multiple NFTs, I guess, or like multiple images, right? Or multiple files, right? Images or multiple files within this NFT. And then there's conditions that's like, okay, if after 5 weeks move from this image, the NFT moves from this image to this image. Okay. That's sorry, I'm a bit of a noob with the tech, so I need to ask these simple questions, but I think that's processed into my brain.
It's great for us to explain it as well, because I think we didn't do a great job at this. I don't think people will have still comprehended the whole INFT. We call them infinite NFTs.
Yeah, but from like a creative perspective, it's kind of cool. This is just another option, and this is another way to be creative. You're adding there's this dynamism. I think that's the word. Like you're creating something that is dynamic and it changes over time based on certain conditions, and that just adds like another layer of how you can be creative, which is cool. Like it's it just opens up another avenue to create something that's super interesting. I like that. So currently the minting function on your website doesn't offer that, but keep an eye out for it in the near future.
Yes, very near future, a few months.
In the very near future. Yeah. Okay, and why Cardano? Why build this on Cardano compared to another, say, Ethereum or some other blockchain?
It's funny because we talked to Charles twice, and he asked this same question. He was like, "Why are you building on Cardano?" And we said, "I have the same answer still. I think with the whole worldly view of Artano, and we want to expand to markets that are not like mainstream, I would say, I guess." I think this idea of Cardano, of diversity, of a global, blockchain, is really resonating with our idea of a global marketplace. The sustainability of the blockchain as well, right? Like if we want to build something that's sustainable for the future, and this is one of our 3 core pillars, sustainable business, right? We want to create something, that's gonna create the next generation of artists and sustain that generation, so that they can live and survive, because we are in a global climate crisis, and I think we're not taking it seriously enough. So switching to Artano means switching to a more sustainable, and Cardano, right, onto more sustainable solution.
Interesting. As someone that's very passionate about environmental conservation, it's cool when people in the space emphasize issues like climate change and all that sort of stuff. It's I'm a big believer that blockchain in general, but specifically Cardano. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but I think Cardano is the foundations that they're laying at the moment is literally going to change the world, and that's what's super exciting for me. I love that it seems like you're very considerate about things that are maybe adjacent to, I don't even know if that's the right phrase, adjacent to cryptocurrency, like things like being inclusive and climate change. Like you seem to be very considerate about these other things and tying that into cryptocurrency, which I definitely appreciate. Like I think that's a really cool idea. So yeah, respect for that, bro. Thanks. I think that's cool. One thing I wanted to quickly talk about is so just really breaking down simply, like maybe a step-by-step process as a creator who wants to sell an NFT on your platform. What do they have to do like right now, like breaking it down to steps? So do they need to, you mentioned sign up to the newsletter, they need to submit their like portfolio, like can you maybe step through exactly what they would need to do today?
Sure. So today you can do 2 things. You can subscribe and you can mint your art pieces. So you can use Artament. They're not infinite NFTs, so they're not the ones that change over time. They're just normal NFTs. You can mint them and then later import them into the marketplace, because we have our own ID, right? And like we know which NFTs belong to the marketplace, so you can just import them. You can't apply yet. That's the thing. Like we are writing as we speak, we're writing the application forms and all that, and kind of the council is deciding, which criteria they want to have. And tomorrow we're having a meeting with the council, and on Saturday to discuss, how it's going to be curated, who's going to be allowed, who is not. We're going to give examples, scroll through marketplaces, what do you like, what do you not like, and so on. So for now, yeah, mint and subscribe.
Okay, so when you said that you can mint NFTs at the moment, and that goes to this some sort of catalog that still needs to be reviewed, and once the ones that get reviewed and get accepted, then it goes onto a marketplace where people can actually buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So gotcha. You still need to be approved by the council. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I think I know a few people that would be interested in that, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In the context now, I mean, we still have 2 places. We're like, oh, who should we accept? So we still have 2 places, right? Even though we're like,
interesting.
With the council, right? So,
yeah. Oh, you got two spaces on the council.
Left, yeah. Out of 20.
Okay, so how do people apply for the council again?
So they used to apply until May 5th, and now we just reach out to people ourselves.
Okay.
Because we didn't get enough applications from places we wanted the people to be from. So we just accepted Pam. She's from Thailand, and we accepted one more person from South Africa. So he's going to be announced soon. So
okay. Yeah. So the people that are listening to this that have some sort of creative background, what is the criteria that you're looking for?
We're looking for experience, I would say, and something like some quirk. Like it doesn't have to be like you're an amazing artist. It's like you have the special skill, or you're well connected in the Cardano space, for example, and you know a lot of artists in the space, or you are we have people with 25 years of experience in art, and like they know people, they are very connected. We have VR sculptors, like they enter their piece and they just like, we have Gaston, he's like a VR sculptor, so he enters the piece itself and like makes it in VR. So So like if you have some quirk, right? If you have something, maybe it's interesting, maybe you've done some research, maybe you're in academia, maybe you've thought about like curation as a, maybe you're a professional curator. I don't know. So stuff like that. Yeah. Doesn't
Okay,
have to
so
be
it's
necessary.
some sort of kind of point of difference, some unique flavor that you can bring to the table.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
if anyone's listening and that sounds like you, then get
Reach out.
involved, reach out. Yeah. Okay. Um, and in terms of the roadmap, so things obviously heating up with Cardano at the moment. Like there seems to be, um, it seems like the charts are, at least based on recent history, are moving upwards, and I think there's got to be a lot of excitement, especially with smart contracts around the corner. So everyone's obviously working around the clock, trying to just work and build these products out. What does that roadmap look like for you for the rest of this year, at least?
Okay, so our roadmap, in around a month from now, we plan to release buying and selling and applications on the marketplace. So hopefully mid to end September, if smart contracts are out, we're going to be having a full-blown marketplace. Then introducing infinite NFTs, of course, so you can mint them and you can mint INFTs that change over time in price. So that's the next part. And then in December, hopefully governance, like we start working on the voting so people can vote on features. We can actually get feedback directly from the people who are using the platform. That's really important to us. So like we know, we're not building something that we don't want. If you don't want any NFTs and you don't want these NFTs that change over time, tell us through the governance token. Yeah, basically that's the short-term roadmap. Then after that, we're going to have like different art styles, like sorry, I don't know what you call it, like music, film, books, and video games, for example. We want to introduce, like, we want to expand, right? But for now, it's only visual arts.
Yeah. Obviously, with NFTs, there's so much potential for what the use cases for NFTs. Like, it's quite ridiculous what they could like. I often think like try and visualize what NFT, like some use cases for NFTs in like 10 years time, and it's like you just don't know. Like it could be anything. It's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Super exciting. This is true for anything in blockchain, really. Like this is such a massive technology that can change the world at a fundamental level, that it's like we don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years, but I do know it's going to be really cool.
It's like a newborn. It's like what word is gonna, what's the first word it's gonna say? When is it gonna start walking? Like all these kind of stuff. Like like what's gonna happen next? Where's it gonna? How's it gonna grow up being? Because really Cardano is. I mean, blockchain is new, and Cardano is very new. I mean, especially with smart contracts out in like a few months, hopefully, or days. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. Exactly. That'll be exciting. Yeah. I think you touched on it earlier, but can you talk a bit about the team again that's behind this, building this project out?
Sure. So we have 10 people. We have 4 co-founders, and the co-founding team is 2 people who are already in the blockchain space for like years. I think 2012. I mean, Sandeep has been building in 2014, 15, like these payment methods for internet connections using Bitcoin. And then I'm like, he probably spent like a lot of Bitcoin. He didn't even know what he was doing, but at the time, unfortunately for him. And we have Ron, who's our product manager. He's amazing. He has 20 plus years of experience in IT sales. Maria, she's my close friend for 10 years. She's a business analyst and a financial expert. I mean, she's worked with startups for a few years now, and I'm a software consultant myself. I work in I'm a developer. So that's the 4 core teams. We have 2 developers working with us through Sandeep and Ron. So that's 6 people. We have 1 lawyer. We have a designer, and we have 2 developers working on the Plutus program, not the Pioneers Plutus development program. So they're building the smart contracts actually. So we kind of have a hands-on experience already with the smart contracts, even though they're not out. We have some people we can talk to, and we can help us build the marketplace.
So it sounds like you have a pretty big team then, and
Yeah.
a very experienced team as well, which is always good to see. Like it's I obviously love ideas, but the one thing better than an idea is an idea that's converted into something that's real. And to
Yeah.
do that, you need a team that is capable of doing that. So, good sign that you've got like a good team, which is cool. It's exciting for us users knowing that there's a experienced team behind it. Um, for those listening that want to, I think I've said for those listening quite a bit tonight. I need to.
There's a lot of things to do on Artano already. So.
How can people connect and support what you guys are doing online? Like how can people connect with you online and follow what you're doing?
Sure. So I think Twitter is like obvious, like,
The big one.
connect on Twitter, follow us, whatever. And that's like the biggest following we have. Then I would say stake with the pool. You will earn some tokens later, not yet, but you will earn some tokens in the future. Of course, we can earn ADA together. That's always great. And yeah, if you know any investors, of course, if you know someone who's interested in a project that's, very, I would say, very different from others, and it's supporting the community and built by the community, you can definitely reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just like, apply, please apply, even though you think you might not have the experience, apply still. Or if you think you're new in the art world, you're just a student or something, we would love to see, we would love to support those kind of people. So please do apply. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And we'll add any of these links below.
Yeah.
Before I move on to the last question, is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we haven't touched on at the moment?
So I think we touched on most things. Yeah, I would like to, I guess you have like last question, then I'm going to thank you. So we can move to I'm not thanking you yet. Okay.
Okay, we'll put the thank you on pause for a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll thank you first. I'll put my thank you on pause as well. We can both put the thank yous on pause. The closing question is, what excites you the most about the future of Cardano?
I think I've been in space long enough. I think it's like, long enough, like 9 months, and more actually now. Yeah, like 10 months, over almost a year. And I've seen this space transform, and it was a really tight-knit community. Like I remember on Reddit, it was just like everybody answers everybody's question. Everybody's so friendly. And I just hope this stays, I hope this close-knit community stays over time. I've seen a bit of toxicity enter the space, and I just hope it's like kicked out right away. So that's my biggest hope, that that people are genuinely building this project for what it is. And that's like community, driven thing. And that really genuinely help each other out. That it's not about, it's not about the money. It's not about the cash grab. It's actually about the quality of the blockchain, and that it's supported by peer-reviewed research, by the people who are really smart, really smart. So I hope that we keep supporting each other and build an amazing number one blockchain.